Hello dear students, today we are here to study a new chapter, that is Government Initiative for Business Development. We have studied about what is entrepreneurship, how you can ensure that there is growth in your entrepreneurship. We have studied about social entrepreneurship, we have studied about creativity and innovation. This is the last chapter in this part where we are discussing about what the Government of India has done to promote the startups, what all steps has been taken by the government to ensure that entrepreneurship has been encouraged and has been given aid to, right? So in this chapter what we would be broadly discussing is about different schemes of the government, different types of programs that the government has been taking up or has been initiating to ensure that there is encouragement, there is motivation given to entrepreneurship, especially the Startup India, where we are encouraging the startups to have ease of doing business, that is they are providing with facilities so that the registration formalities and all is reduced, so that people are encouraged to become entrepreneurs. So in this chapter all we are discussing is about different schemes, the achievements that the government has done with respect to different schemes. Let us begin this chapter where we are discussing about Startup India, the government initiatives. Now first thing is Ministry of Skill Development and Entrepreneurship. This ministry is responsible for the coordination of all skill development efforts across the country. They are also focusing on removal of disconnect between demand and supply of skilled manpower. Now there is always a difference between the number of skilled manpower who are there and the demand created for them. So they are acting as a link who will encourage these entrepreneurs, who will encourage skilled people to come up and develop their skills, and they develop the skills of entrepreneurship. They provide vocational and technical training. They help in skill upgradation, they build new skills, innovative thinking, and not only for the existing jobs but also for the jobs that are to be created. So Ministry of Skill Development and Entrepreneurship is mainly set up and is responsible for development of skills, development of efforts, providing vocational training, providing technical training, bridging the gap between demand and supply of skilled laborers. Now under the initiatives there are different functional arms. Okay, it is aided by National Skill Development Agency, which is also called as NSDA, and then it is aided by National Skill Development Corporation, called as NSDC, and then it is aided by National Skill Development Fund, that is called as NSDF. Now there are also 33 sector skill councils, there are 187 training partners. Now these are all under the Ministry of Skill Development. So they have set up different wings, that the one of them being National Skill Development Agency. Now this is an agency which is focusing more on developing skills of medium and small, micro, medium and small enterprises. Then there is a corporation called National Skill Development Corporation, National Skill Development Fund. There are 33 sector skill councils. Now these councils, what they do, they encourage people, they encourage skilled workers. Okay, they counsel them and they encourage them to get into entrepreneurship. Also there are 187 training partners. Now as I told, the ministry focuses on providing vocational and technical training. So there are 187 training partners under this scheme. Now first thing we are studying is about NSDA, that is National Skill Development Agency. It is an autonomous body. It is registered as a society under Societies Registration Act of 1960. It was created with a mandate to coordinate and harmonize the skill development activities in the country. It is a part of Ministry of Skill Development and Entrepreneurship. So this was set up, registered as a society, and their main objective was to harmonize and coordinate the skill development activities in the country. If you guys know, in so many remote villages of India, there are different types of handicrafts, there are different art forms in India, right? These skills are there in different places, but however they have not been given the right exposure, or they have not been motivated properly, or they have not been given the right encouragement. So that is why this ministry has been set up, so that these people have been given the right encouragement. You know, the talent of people has been tapped in different places. They have been, you know, they'll create a market for them, they provide financial facilities for them, they help in skill developmental activities. Next we are studying about NSDC, that is National Skill Development Corporation. It is set up as a public private partnership, that is PPP company, with the primary mandate to catalyze the skill landscape in India. Now NSDC is a unique model created with a well thought through underlying philosophy based on the following pillars. Now there are three important pillars on which this NSDC is functioning, that is to create, to fund and to enable. Now under create, what they do, they create a market, they create people who have skilled workers or skilled laborers or skilled people who want to, you know, begin the entrepreneurship venture. Then they fund them. Now funding is based on the finances, right? So they provide financial facilities, they provide loans at a lower rate, and then they enable people to start their entrepreneurship ventures. So these are the three main focus areas of NSDC. Now the objectives of NSDC, what they mainly you know, aspire to do is to upgrade the skills of international standards through significant industry involvement and develop necessary framework for standards, curriculum and quality assurance. They help in upgradation of skills to international standards. What they focus on is to ensure that the skills are as per the international standards, because Indian market should also be competitive enough to actually compete with the other skill set in the world or all over the world. So what they do, they ensure that these standards are upgraded. They also involve in the industry, they provide a standard, they provide a curriculum, and they ensure that there is quality in the products or services provided by these startups. Now they enhance, support and coordinate private sector initiative with respect to skill development by appropriate PPP model. PPP is public private partnership. So it's a mix of both public and private model. They strive for significant operational and financial involvement from the private sector. So usually what happens, there are private sector organizations who are, you know, ready to fund these skill development people, right? So what they do, they create a partnership between public and private and help the skill development in different sectors. They play a role of market maker by bringing financing and creating a market for the products. What they do, they set up forums, they set up platforms where these people can, you know, exhibit their products, market their products and get proper customers. They help in customer awareness as well. Then they help in prioritizing initiatives that can have multiplier or catalytic effect. Now what is multiplier or catalytic effect? That is an effect where you multiply your sales, right? So they help in such initiatives as well. Now they have partnership with different people. This is about NSDC. Now what NSDC has, they have partnership with the private sector where they have different programs to encourage skill development. They have partnership with the international engagement, like there are international forums through which they have their partnership to encourage skill development. Then central ministries like the Swachh Bharat, the Pradhan Mantri Jan Dhan Yojana, all these things are under the central ministry. They have tie-ups with the central ministry where they encourage entrepreneurship, right? And then they also have tie-ups with the state government. Each state will have different types of programs which they have designed for encouraging these skilled workers or for encouraging the MSMEs, that is micro, small and medium enterprises. So they have tie-ups with the state government as well. They provide you know, vocational training and technical training, as I already told you. So what they do, they have tie-ups with the universities or schools through whom they provide vocational training. Now next they have tie-ups with the non-profit organization. With non-profit organization, NSDC will have a tie-up where they encourage and they help in coordinating skill development in India. Then they ensure that there is innovation in the product. As we already discussed in the previous chapters of entrepreneurship, innovation is the most important factor when it comes to entrepreneurship. So they should ensure that innovation is always there, otherwise then they cannot create a market for any product. So they ensure that there is innovation in all the products. Now, what all are the achievements of NSDC? We'll read through all the achievements and we'll try to understand most of them with respect to our exam perspective. So, first thing is, it has over 5.2 million students who have trained under the NSDC. It has 235 private sector partnership for training and capacity building to train at least 50,000 persons over a 10-year period. So, this is a great achievement where they have trained at least 50,000 persons over 10-year period. It has 38 sector skill councils, as we already discussed in the previous slides, that are approved in services, manufacturing, agriculture, allied services and informal sectors. Now, these sectors includes 19 out of 20 high priority sectors. Now, this is important. There are so many high priority sectors identified by the government to encourage Make in India, right? In Make in India, what they say is there are few segments which needs more focus so that these goods are manufactured in India. So, they have almost 19 out of 20 high priority sectors identified by the government and 25 of these sectors under Make in India initiative. Now, Make in India is an initiative where encouragement is given for manufacturing of goods in India and exporting them worldwide. Next, they have 1386 qualification packs with 6744 unique national occupational standards. These have been validated by over 1000 companies. The other achievements of NSDC is that vocational training that is introduced in 10 states, which covers 24,000 plus students, 2 boards benefiting over 2.5 lakhs students. The curriculum is based on National Occupational Standards, that is NOS, and SSC certification. Now, what NSDC is working is, they are working with 21 universities. As I told, they have partnership with universities as well. So, they are working with 21 university community colleges under the UGC or AICTE for alignment of education and training of NSDF. Next, they have designated implementation agency for largest voucher based skill development program, Pradhan Mantri Kaushal Vikas Yojana. Okay. So, they have implemented an agency where there is focus given for Kaushal Vikas. Kaushal Vikas is encouraging people who are good at handicrafts, artifacts and skilled people. Okay. So, these are people who have been given encouragement to start off their own entrepreneurial ventures. Now, skill development management system, that is SDMS, with over 1400 training partners, 28,179 training centers, 16,479 trainers, 20 job portals, 77 assessment agencies and 4983 empaneled assessors. So, these are the people which they have under their basket. They host infrastructure certified by ISO companies supported by dedicated personnel. So, these are major achievements of the NSDC. Now, all this while we have spoken about Startup India, the government initiative. The basic question would be about what is a startup. Startup is a company that is in the first stage of its operation. These companies are often initially bankrolled by the entrepreneurial founders as they attempt to capitalize on developing a product or service for which they believe there is demand. As we already discussed in an entrepreneurial introduction, that any venture that is very new, that is at the first stage of its operation, is called as startup. Now, it is usually bankrolled, the funding is usually bankrolled in a startup. They want to capitalize on developing a product or service which they feel it is in demand. So, say if we are talking about cell phones, when there was no cell phones at all, the person who started cell phones, the company that started cell phones would definitely be a startup. They would have found out that there is going to be a demand for cell phones. So, that is how they start the business, with a idea of any product or services which they feel will have a demand in the future. Now, what Government of India is doing to encourage startup? So, they have the program called as Startup India. Now, Startup India is a program launched to simplify the regulatory framework. The ease of doing business has been encouraged. Now, what happens usually if an entrepreneur wants to start a business, he will think that there are so many procedures to start a business, so many laws, rules, regulations that I have to follow. So, there might be chances that he might not get into the entrepreneurial venture itself. So, to encourage such people, the ease of doing business has been started. That is, easy way of starting off an business. Now, what happens, within few hours you can incorporate a company. Just you need 3 to 4 hours. If you have all the documents, you can start off a new company. So, like that, there have been different ways through which they are encouraging ease of doing business. So, they will reduce the number of requirements, compliances that has to be done to register an organization. Businesses which are MSME units has to fill a single one-page self-declaration online form called as the Udyog Aadhaar. Now, micro, small and medium enterprises, if they have to register themselves, there is only one form that they have to fill, and that is also made online. Nobody has to stand in queues for hours together, take photocopies, nothing of that sort is there. That is why they call it as ease of doing business. Now, this declaration is called as Udyog Aadhaar. Next, another initiative that is taken under the Startup India is the Atal Innovation Mission. Now, this is very important from the exam perspective. Now, this program is operated from the Niti Aayog, which is about an innovation promotion platform involving academics, entrepreneurs and researchers, and they draw upon national and international experience to foster to the culture of innovation, R&D and scientific research in India. So, what is the program undertaken under the Atal Innovation Mission is called as the Niti Aayog. In Niti Aayog, they focus on 3 basic criteria, that is the academics, the entrepreneurs and the researchers. So, now for academics, they provide training for the students, they provide vocational training for skilled people, then they encourage them to be entrepreneurs and they help them to do proper research. Research and development is very important in an entrepreneurial venture, right? It is important because based on the research only an entrepreneur can start his venture, or an entrepreneur can start the startup concept, right? So, that is why they give more focus on the research. They also want to develop a culture of innovation, scientific research and development in India. Now, under the AIM, that is the Atal Innovation Mission, there are certain objectives that they would want to achieve. The first objective being to create an umbrella structure to oversee innovation ecosystem of the country. Now, innovation should keep on developing, right? It is a continuous process. Innovation doesn't stop at any point. So, they want to encourage and create a structure to check the innovation ecosystem all over the country. They want to provide a platform and collaboration opportunities for different stakeholders. Anyone who wants to get into the line of business, they want to provide a platform and they want to collaborate to provide any opportunity. They also are in the business of focusing and to make a study and suggest the best practices to be adopted by stakeholders and how to innovate, how to bring in new innovation in the product. The other objectives are to provide policy inputs to Niti Aayog and various government departments and organizations to create awareness and provide knowledge inputs in creative innovation challenge. Now, this is very important because they have to create awareness among people. If they don't create awareness among people, it becomes very difficult for new entrepreneurs to start off their business, right? So, they help in creating proper awareness and provide proper knowledge. Now, to develop new programs and policies for fostering innovation and to develop the economy of the country. So, they want to create new programs, they want to ensure there are new platforms given to create programs and policies for entrepreneurs. The next venture that we are going to discuss is about SETU, that is self-employment and talent utilization. Now SETU is a Hindi word also that is called as Setu, which means bridge. Now what they do, financial incubation and facilitation program is what they undertake. Why they do that? To support all aspects of business. Now financial, what do? They provide, capital support, they give loans at a lesser rate of interest, they provide financial services, pooling of financial services. Incubation is a center where new offices might not have their own premises, right? So what they do, incubation center they provide a premise, a proper office space for new organization, and they have facilitation program. They facilitate starting of any new organization. Now this is all given for the startups who want to start their business, who are encouraged to do self-employment, or particularly in the technological driven aspects that are operated from the Niti Aayog. Now SETU has an expert committee which has identified 5 major drivers for creating entrepreneurial ecosystem, that is catalytic government policy and regulatory framework, easy access to equity and capital debt, businesses as entrepreneurial hubs, culture and institution which encourage entrepreneurship over careerism, and adequate and effective collaboration forums. We will discuss each one of them in detail. In this entrepreneurial ecosystem, catalytic government policy and regulatory framework is important. So you should have a government policy that has a feature of proper regulatory framework. Then an entrepreneur should get proper equity or proper debt. He should be made proper capital availability so that he will be able to start off his business. Then there should be proper entrepreneurial hubs, that is encouraging people to start off their entrepreneurship. There should also be institution which encourages entrepreneurship over careerism, which shows that there is more scope in entrepreneurship, and there should be adequate collaboration forums where people can collaborate and start their entrepreneurship. Apart from this, the SETU has different segments, that is the Electronic Development Fund, which gives more focus on bringing in new electronic medium in entrepreneurship. They are encouraging Digital India. If you guys have noticed earlier, the banking services was where we used to go to banks and have banking services, but now with a click of a button we can have all the banking services at one place. So that is the focus of SETU, where they want to have Digital India. Then also to new entrepreneurs, they want to provide intellectual property rights, that is if they have any patents, any trademarks, they want to provide this facility to them so that people are made available with such facilities. And India Aspiration Funds. India Aspiration Fund was set up to ensure that the entrepreneurs are given proper funding requirements. They have been made available to proper standards, that is ISO standards and all such facilities. Then we move on to understand the other initiative, that is Stand Up India. Now Stand Up India is a scheme that provides loans to entrepreneurs who are of this scheduled caste, scheduled tribe, or any women entrepreneur. The loan ranges from 10 lakh to 1 crore. So if you are an entrepreneur who is under the SC/ST bracket or a women entrepreneur, then you would be getting a fund that is from the Stand Up India, that would be ranging from rupees 10 lakh to rupees 1 crore. Now what is the eligibility criteria to get this facility is either you have to be an SC or ST or women entrepreneur above the age of 18 years. Now the loans under this scheme is given only for greenfield project. Now what is greenfield project? There are two different types of project, that is greenfield and then we have brownfield. Now greenfield is business which is started brand new. Brownfield is business which is already existing. Okay, so greenfield means a green land. Once you build something there, it becomes a brownfield. So only for ventures which has just started, first time venture, only for that you would be getting the facility of Stand Up India. In case of non-individual enterprises, 51% of the shareholding and controlling should be held by the SC, ST or women. Now, if you have to avail this scheme, you should be having 51% of shareholding in the organization. Then, the borrower should not have been defaulted in payment of any bank loan or any loan to any financial institution. The product must be related to commercialization. That means it has to be a commercial product, and the age of the company must not exceed 5 years. So, within 5 years you can avail this facility of taking funds under the Stand Up India scheme, and you should have also taken certification from DIPP to start off your business. In this case, you would be getting a subsidy from the government that is ranging from rupees 10 lakh to 1 crore. So, this is about Stand Up India. So, in this segment we studied about what are the different initiatives that government has taken to encourage entrepreneurship. Why we are studying this chapter is because we should be aware about what all are the facilities, what all are the scheme that a new entrepreneur can avail. Now, in this segment we discuss mainly about skill development, right? Apart from this, the government of India are taking so many other initiatives where they are encouraging startups, where they are reducing the tax that the startup is liable to pay. They are also giving subsidies to different segments. There are different segments that the government of India has identified that needs more motivation, needs more encouragement. So, that is the reason we have all these different initiatives taken by the government. It could be from the NSDC, NSDA, it could be different schemes that we studied about Niti Aayog or Niti Aadhar, how they want to encourage the MSMEs. So, these are different things that the government of India is taking up to encourage entrepreneurship. This chapter becomes important for us not only from the exam perspective, from the practical perspective as well. So, when we see about different schemes in the newspaper, we will be able to relate to why it is important for us, right? Why they are doing so to encourage entrepreneurship, to bring in the practice where there is more of exports in India and less of imports. They want to tamper or they want to catch all the talented, skilled people in different remote villages as well, so that they provide a proper market, they help them in commercialization, they help them in creating a advertisement or a market for themselves. So, that is the reason they have different programs under the Government of India initiatives. Hope you enjoyed this lecture. Thank you.